Hey, everybody, this is Tim Sutton. It's another Tuesday night bringing you a new perspective. If you've seen the show before, you know everything about me, but if you have not, I'm a law enforcement officer in the state of Virginia. I've been one for 34 years. And for the past 20 so years, I've done a lot of work with individuals with disabilities, which I prefer to call differabilities, because everybody has amazing abilities, but sometimes people just do things a little differently. So what I try to do here is just bring you a new perspective on those in need, those dealing with these issues. And I try to bring on people that are doing amazing work, whether they are dealing with a disability and just taking that journey through life, or people who are out there making a difference, understanding the need to be a part of the community and help those who may be struggling or dealing with some issues. And a couple of weeks, well, it's about a month ago, last month, I just happened to be watching Good Morning America and watched a segment on this gentleman that we have here today, Yuri Williams, and just was really impressed with what he does. And he was on Good Morning America with Dwayne Johnson, with Strahan, just telling him all about what he does out in, well, he does it all over the country, but typically lives in California. And the interesting thing, we talked a couple of days ago to find out, interestingly enough, he's a deputy juvenile probation officer, so 23 years. So he and I have that common bond just in our conversation. So what I like to do is bring on Yuri Williams and introduce him to everybody, and talk about the amazing things that he's doing throughout the country. Hey, Yuri, how are you today?
I'm great, Tim. Thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate you being here. Yeah, you really caught my attention, and I know you got kind of blindsided when you went to New York and you were invited to do one thing, and then you found out they had big plans for you. And we'll get into that. But tell everybody a little bit about yourself growing up and how you ended up being this amazing person dressing in superhero costumes to go out there and pretty much make people's day.
Uh, it started when I lost my mother to an 8-year battle of cancer in 2009. I was in I'd say a 5-year depression period, and I almost lost myself because
Right.
I deal with children that have disabilities, PTSD, schizophrenia. I mean, you name it. I've dealt with
Right.
these kids. I have it, and they, and that depression also. And I've never felt depression until, that day that she passed away. And that was probably like the worst day of my life, I would say.
Right. So what did you do? What you so 5 years? What was the one thing that kicked you into gear to make you want to do what you do now?
Uh, just thinking about her every day, like I always do, and what she taught me, and that was to be loving and caring and showing love and compassion to people. So, one day I was asleep, and then, I woke and I just said, I can't keep living my life like this,
Right.
crying every day and feeling depressed. So
That's awesome.
that's when, my coworkers donated, I think 300 to 400 hours for me to, to be off during work to
Wow.
rehab, because they know how important my mom was to me,
Right.
and I'll never forget that day. And I'm thankful for them for doing that. But on the day of returning to work, like I usually do, I used to call her every morning in the car about 5:50, because I start at 6, just to wake
Right.
her up and get her going. And I sat there and I called, and the phone just kept ringing and ringing, and it went to voicemail, and it just clicked like bang, she's not
Yeah.
here anymore. So I sat there for a couple minutes. I called the job. I said, give me like an hour to get myself together.
Right.
So for some strange reason, I picked the phone up. I started creating an Instagram account, and the first person to pop up was Officer Tommy Norman, a
Mhm.
good friend of mine now, brother. I call him my brother, Rodney Smith Jr. popped up right after him. And then another guy, hip hop trooper, who dresses up as a red stormtrooper and cosplays
Oh,
and
okay.
visits kids and goes to Comic Cons and stuff. And I
Yeah.
thought of all of these three gentlemen and combined that into what I do, and that's how I created the nonprofit, a future superhero and friends, because of them.
Oh,
Seeing them
wow.
through Instagram and what they did and what I was doing, I said this gave me hope, and that's when I began my mission.
Wow. So out of this thing that you pulled yourself out of depression, then you wanted to bless other people. That ends up ultimately blessing you. And I don't think
Right.
a lot of people understand that when you step out and do things for other people who, we talked about Sunday or Saturday, and it's like people with dealing with a lot of these issues, whether it's depression, mental health issues, cognitive issues, autism, different disabilities, different abilities, they're the ones typically not invited to the birthday parties. And when they do invite people to their parties, nobody shows up. But
Right.
in your case, even without the invite, here you come dressed like a superhero. And I would encourage people to really dig in and look at some of the videos with Yuri in costume, just making a difference in these lives. These children are so excited, and to be able to see something like that and experience it, it's got to be so fulfilling to you.
Yeah, it is. It's priceless because some of these kids don't that I visited are no longer here, but they are here in spirit. And I think about these children all the time, and I keep their name alive by visiting other children that have
Right,
illnesses just like they did. And sharing these stories with these different parents, and just letting them know that somebody's here for you if you
right.
need that voice to speak to. And I don't care what time of night it is. I've had people call me at 3 in the morning and say, what should I do, and this and that. And I don't have a problem talking to people at 3 in the morning
Right.
because I'm up at 4:30 almost every morning. So
Yeah, I know how that is now. These early hours. I know in our line of work, I mean, you pretty much go in when you got to go in.
yeah.
And you're working constantly, and you're doing all this and stepping out. And I think about the just looking at some of the videos you had with some of those kids and how excited they were when you showed up. And some of those kids, like you said, are not here anymore. But to have those videos and have those moments for the parents to remember, and you didn't have to do what you did, but you
Right.
stepped out and you did it, and it means so much to these families. And I often have that issue because I travel the country and I teach about disabilities and things, and most of which is autism, other intellectual disabilities. But people wonder why are you doing it? Have you got children with a disability? And I'm like, no, I don't. But I see the need, and I see how you can reach people and make such a difference. And we even talked the other day about the I guess the whole public safety, law enforcement, corrections. On the news, you're not going to see the good things that are being done. You're going to see the bad things.
Right.
And for us to step out and be able to reach and touch some people's lives, and keep doing it, whether or not you're getting a video or you're getting the tapes and reels on television, you're getting the GMA. Whether or not you went to GMA, you'd still be doing what you're doing, but at least
Right.
people are hearing about it. And I commend you so much for what you were doing. One of the things that got me looking at you and your website, you're a nonprofit, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And one thing, your vision statement, if I could read it, blew me away. It says your vision is to improve the quality of life and restoring the dignity of those who we serve by meeting their needs and restoring their hope through the demonstration of love. And that's just, I mean, that sums it up what you're doing. You don't know these people, but you love these people. And had your mom not been as impactful in your life as she was, would you be doing this now?
I mean, I probably would be doing it, but I guarantee you I wouldn't be doing it on this level right here. I
Right,
took her negative, which was being, deceased, and I've
right,
turned that into something positive. So, I know for a fact I probably would not have been on this highest level of
right,
giving if she was
right.
still here.
How many, you have a ballpark figure of how many people you've reached? I mean, I even noticed you
Oh
just
man.
out and about, not in costume, but just meeting people and, providing things and trying to inspire them. Any idea how many people you have reached face to face?
Dude, I'll be honest with you. It's over. I know for a fact it's over 10,000 people. I'm sure it's
Wow.
over. over 10,000
Wow.
people,
Yeah, it's interesting. Last week I had a gentleman on, and I'd encourage people to check the show out with Kevin Dill, who's dealing with Lewy body dementia. And I shared with him another thing that came from a friend of mine, retired FBI agent who dealt with a wife with Alzheimer's. And he said, you can take these situations, these life situations, these bad things that happen, and you can let them make you bitter, or you can try to make yourself and the world better. And
Mhm.
you obviously have stepped up and have taken an unfortunate situation. I'm sure you're just proud and thrilled of the time you had with your mom and went through that dark period, but you picked yourself up by your bootstraps, and you're making a huge difference. And plus, you got a was it Black Adam costume
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Dwayne Johnson on the show?
yeah, yeah.
So that is absolutely awesome. Well, you've been to all 50 states, correct?
Yes, 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
And you're getting ready to make it four, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Well, I will. Like I told you before, you make it to anywhere close to Richmond, Virginia, we need to hook up because I want to take you to lunch
Okay.
and introduce you to some people. So, what other have you got other things planned or things other people can get involved in, like going to your website and joining up to help you or anything like that? Do you take volunteers?
Oh yeah, we take volunteers. When I get back, we're gonna have a turkey drive next year. I mean, next week, excuse me.
Okay,
And then I'll go on the tour after that the following week. And then when I get back, just back to giving. So if anybody
right.
would like to volunteer, just visit afuturesuperhero.com or .org and register to volunteer.
Yeah, and be ready. I mean, you don't have to be in California where he is. I say reach out wherever you are, and then when he comes to your town, maybe he can make contact and you can be impactful there. Do you have other people throughout the country that you are working with doing similar stuff, or is it pretty much you and a group of people possibly going around and hitting spots throughout the country?
It's usually a group of people, that we travel outside of the states. But there's my brother Rodney Smith Jr., who travels around the 50 states, who I will be going on tour with, in
Okay.
the next couple of weeks. He's been around the states 14 times already, and we
Wow.
both do similar things. He does it with a lawnmower, and I do it in costume. So I
Right.
consider we're both heroes, and I just we both do the same thing. We talk to each other almost every other day, trying to bounce ideas
Awesome.
off of each other, to keep the
Right.
mission going and to spread love and compassion because it's much needed right now in this world.
Oh, no doubt. And again, you talk about the love and compassion and our full time jobs. It's it puts us. We are in I don't know. It's a lot of walls we need to break down
Right.
between public safety and corrections, first responders, all of us. And you're out there doing it. So I just admire you and I appreciate what you're doing. And I'm
Thank you.
glad I was able to run across Good Morning America the morning you were on. And I would encourage people to go back and if you can get that online and watch that interview. You were caught quite off guard. And just during that interview, you could see how big your heart is and how much your heart is in it. And like Dwayne Johnson said, he plays a superhero. That's what he does.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be on screen and doing all these big things like he's doing to be that superhero. You can be somebody that puts on a costume, or our nonprofit here and that we've started here locally, a betterunderstanding.org. It's all about raising awareness and advocating for people with different abilities. And all of us are doing our own little thing, very similar, but we're doing it a little different ways.
Mhm.
And I appreciate what you do, and I'm after we get done here, I'm gonna go back and watch even more of your videos. Well, what do you see for the future? Have you got big plans or expect this to go any particular place?
Yeah. I have dreams of having my own building of office with canned goods, food, and so people that are in need can come. We also have an art program that we run that my buddy Juan Carlos, who works for Michelin S. He's a great graphic artist. He teaches these kids how to use their art and create jobs for themselves. And we're trying to get these kids to become graphic artists, possibly become graphic artists, and teach them the different aspects of life. Just
Right,
to teach these kids also about giving because a lot of these kids just are into these video games. They don't know how to give back. They don't know how to talk to people. I just want to be able to have a safe haven for these children to come to and learn different things about life because life is not just about materialistic things all the time.
right. And you're going to have your ups and your downs and things like that. And, just you're the example of pulling yourself out of that dark place and making a huge difference. Um, so and that's what I admire about what you're doing, looking at your website. So you'll take donations and everything. Can you tell everybody how to reach you again with your websites and your different social medias if they want to get involved, if they want to donate, contribute art items, things like that? What's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, everything is listed on the website of futuresuperhero.com or futuresuperhero.org. We have every donation link possible. Volunteers, you can see all of the videos. And I always tell people, please come to the website and look at all the news articles, look at all the videos so you can see where your donation is going
Right,
towards. I'm not here to get rich off of this. This is therapeutic for me. If you can't
right,
volunteer with us, you can still volunteer by donating. I'll do the work for you, and you don't
right,
have to put your feet to the ground. But I just want people to see that this is no type of scam or no gimmick or nothing like that.
right,
Because when I take off on these tours, I'm using my own time, which I've taken off 60 days now, and I'm gonna take off
right.
another 30 days coming. So
Goodness
that alone
gracious.
should just tell you, that how serious and dedicated I am about, serving the community and serving this world.
Do you take donations and all? If anybody didn't have stuff to contribute, but to help with the travel and all, because that's got to be extremely
Yeah,
expensive traveling
yeah,
all over the place.
yeah. It's what I'm thinking about doing also, Tim, is trying to get people to donate their miles to me. So if someone
Oh,
is
okay.
out in New York, I could travel using your miles to go to New York to, by plane to
Right,
visit this child. Instead of you making a monetary donation, you could give me your miles or you give me your hotel points or something like that. You don't always have to give
right,
monetarily, but any type of donation will help towards
right.
cause. So that's the reason why I'm asking for these
Gotcha.
different forms of donation.
Right, and yeah, they can help in so many different ways, and so it's not something where we want money, we want money. I think one of the biggest donations you can actually give is word of mouth, letting people know what you're doing,
Right.
and hey, he's coming to town, and you just reach so many people. I think it's neat that you're not just so localized, that you're willing and able to actually travel and go to these different places. And have you been outside of the United States doing any of this?
I think the furthest we went to is Mexico, and that's the next step
Right.
is to visit 7 continents. This
Wow.
little baby Yoda here has been to all 50 states, and I want to take it to all 7 continents, and then auction it off to like cancer research or something of that nature, or somebody wants to buy it and
Right.
donate it to their charity or whatnot. But that's what I want to do, is just continue to help people by doing whatever is needed, and I know
Right.
people need help all over the country. And just imagine me to be able to go to, say, Colombia or
Right.
Ecuador or wherever in a Mandalorian costume, where these kids don't
Yeah.
get a chance to see this. And that's
Right.
that's my dream, is to visit all 7 continents in Deadpool costume, Mandalorian. Or I'm also creating my own character,
Oh.
which has disabilities. And
Oh, really?
yeah, so that's one of my main things, is to create this costume, and the costume is very expensive. So
I
any
bet.
donation will help, but I'm telling you, this is going to be a very creative costume, and I want to be able to create also a coloring book to provide to hospitals where children, are in the
Right.
hospital. Something, give them something to do, and learn about a future superhero character, because a future superhero is not just me. It's just you, Tim. It's
Right.
everyone. When I'm no longer here, that's why
Right.
I named it a future superhero, because when I'm no longer here, a future superhero will be born somewhere else.
Right. Right. Yeah, I had a discussion yesterday with somebody about being a supervisor in law enforcement, sergeant, and I've been a supervisor for over about 23 years, and I said, I look at it as though my job is to train them up to be able to do my job when I'm no longer here,
Hmm.
and that's exactly what you're trying to do. And having a superhero with a different ability, I think that's absolutely awesome. Um, because some of these kids and some of these adults dealing with things, they don't see a lot of that. But have somebody coming up and doing what you're doing. You ever see this? And I don't want to jinx you or anything, but you ever see yourself retiring and being able to do this full time?
Yeah, I mean that's the dream.
Right.
4 more years to go, and I don't want to work any place anymore. I just want to give for the
Right.
rest of my life after I'm retired, and just enjoy life of giving because it's much needed.
Right. Right. There are plenty of people out there taking, not a whole
Yeah.
lot
Oh
out
yeah.
giving. That's the sad thing. But
Yeah.
so when you went to New York, you got to go as guest Dwayne Johnson for the Black Adam movie. What
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
experience was that? How did that go?
Oh, it was great. Like I said, that guy is a genuine guy, man. Him and Strahan, the whole GMA cast, Robin Roberts, everybody, TJ, like everybody, George, everybody was just genuine. I felt like I was looking at myself when I was meeting these people
Right.
because they were so genuine. You could tell fake and you could tell
Yeah.
genuine people, and there were some genuine people. Dwayne Johnson is a genuine guy.
And it's hard to fake those tears, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hard to fake
Well,
those tears, man. You
that was
moved a
just,
lot
it
of
was
people while you were there.
that was just some sweat, man. Just eye sweat,
And
you know. Yeah.
I swear, I'm sorry. I was mistaken. It's all in the terminology, but no, nothing wrong
Right.
crying, man. Nothing
Right.
wrong
No.
crying. It just shows it means something to you.
Right. Right.
But well, what about I know, have you been able to set up? I think they said something about setting up a cinema out there where you are and being able to invite just all the people you can
Oh
think of
yeah.
to come.
We
Have
did
you
that
done that yet?
2 weeks ago. We did that. 350 people showed up. I made sure that every person that we service, one individual from that family was there. So
Okay.
that was very important for me to make sure that only thing that we didn't have animals there. Animals not allowed in the movie theater, but that was the
Right, right, right,
only missing thing. But it was a great experience because a lot of these parents don't get a chance to take their child out,
right,
and I told the mom, I said, I know you're always at home with your
right,
child, so tonight and today is going to be your day to get out, and they gave
right,
snack packs, drinks, popcorn, and the movie. It was a great day. I got to wear the Black Adam costume,
right,
and one day I don't know what kid. I'm gonna give it to some kid in need that loves Black Adam. So whoever's watching
right,
this, if your kid has a need and special needs or some sort, or
right.
I'm gonna come and donate that to your child.
Well, you bring up a good point, and I think I've mentioned on the show before. I had worked with a family here who had a son who had a what's called Williams syndrome, and there are a lot of issues with that. They had to puree all of his food and was really non-speaking. But he actually passed away when he was 6 years old. And about 6, 7 months later, after he passed, I was talking to the mom, and she said, me and my daughter and my husband went to Virginia Beach, and on the way home, we actually stopped at a restaurant and ate dinner. And she said, we felt guilty because we had spent 6 years. It had been 6 years they'd never gone into a
Hmm.
restaurant because it was so labor intensive. They knew the child may be disruptive and they may get looked at or whatever. But it was 6 years they never stepped foot in a restaurant because of their son's special need. And then there they are. Nate had passed, but they were in a restaurant, and mom feels guilty
Right,
because she's in a restaurant. So I don't think the common general public understands what a lot of the families are dealing with and
right,
what they're missing out on. I mean, they're getting a lot, and I think some of God only chooses those special parents to be parents of special needs children.
right,
They're absolutely amazing, but I don't think the general public realizes what they're dealing with on a day to day basis. And to have people like me and our nonprofit and what we're trying to do for these families, we don't have really a vested interest in it, other than the fact that we want to make them happy. We want to show them that they matter. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed that the Lord had me turn television on so I could see your story. And I reached out to you probably an hour or two after you were on the show, and
yeah,
you responded right back. And I said, man, this is great. I need to try to track him down and maybe get him on the show. And you're out there on that end of the country, and I'm out on this end of the country. And I think so let's just keep going to every state, everywhere we can go, and we'll meet in the middle and start over and do it all over again.
right.
So, well, I do hope you get that wish and get to retire. You got going on what 24. You say you got a few years left. I could
Yeah,
have gone 6 years ago, but situation has kept me where I am doing what I'm doing for now. But I just admire you so much, and I appreciate what you're doing. So again, if anybody out there wants to get in touch with you, donate anything, time, money, air points, hotel points, whatever. Uh, give us your contact information again. Give us your Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. So we make sure everybody has every way possible to get in touch with you.
Yes, the website is www.afuturesuperhero.org or afuturesuperhero.com. Our Facebook is a Future Superhero and Friends. Instagram at a Future Superhero, and Twitter also at a Future Superhero.
All right, I say reach out to him, let him know what you can do to help him out, and if you need or have a need or something, let them know about it. Maybe they can find a way to reach out. You can contact us here at A New Perspective or our nonprofit, a betterunderstanding.org. One other thing I noticed on your website that it struck me, it's underneath the vision statement, and it's your explanation of what you do, why you do it. It says we are just good people, just wanting to show love, show compassion to everyone we encounter. And like I said, I saw one of the videos. I remember the video. The guy was sitting there on the ground at a fence, had a traffic vest on, and you were just standing there, not in costume, but you were standing there carrying on a conversation, and you took the time to talk to him. And that's what I think people miss out on. We God will put doors in front of us to go through, but you got to reach for that doorknob to go through it. And we don't know. None of us know when we may be in that situation that person's in. We might not have a place to live, place to stay, and we're out and about, and you're leaning up against a fence, or that's pretty much your home. You got a blanket and all your belongings. We all could be there one day.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to reach out to people that you see out there, I'm not saying you got to take them in, but just show them that they matter, that they're worth having a conversation with and worth learning about them and sharing some of yourself, because 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, you might be sitting up against that fence and that person walks up and they may be the person that pulls you out of that depression.
Right.
Or pulls you out of that situation, kind of like you got pulled out of your situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so just treat people with kindness, get out there and love everybody. And the key is empathy. Have that empathy.
Right.
Well, we're getting ready to wind down, but if there's one last thing that you just want everybody to know about what you're doing that you can pass on?
I'll tell you what, guys, if you can't donate, just like Tim just told you, just get out there and do something positive for somebody. Don't just walk by a houseless individual, speak
Right.
and, ask them if they need something. That you interacting with that person might stop them from committing suicide. You never know what somebody's going through. So just take a time out of your day to acknowledge people. Don't walk with your head down, walk with your head up, speak, and just keep going. And, that's all I can say.
Yeah, a simple hi could save somebody's life.
Right.
Now you use the word, I want to know if there's an intent behind it. You use, instead of homeless, you use the word houseless. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, because you can make you can make anywhere a home.
Right.
I could come to your front door and sleep on your steps. That's my new home. But a house has a roof over it. To me, has a locked door. A lot of these individuals that I meet on the street that are my family and friends, they don't have ways to lock their tents. Any time someone can come by and throw flames to their tent. Whereas you live in an apartment building, it's going to be harder for you to get in, or a house, it's going to be harder for you to get in. So that's the reason why I say houseless. I don't.
That's the first thing. That's the first time I've heard it referred to that way. And when I read it, I said, that's intentional. That's intentional. Yeah. That's what I wanted to ask you about that. That's pretty awesome. Well, Yuri, hey, man, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. And let's stay in touch, please. Keep me up on what you're doing. We've got each other's numbers, and just stay in touch. And, if I can help you in any way, I would love to be able to do that. And you just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. Thank you, Tim, for having me. And you keep doing the same, brother.
All right, brother. Love you, man. Take care.
Love you too. Be good.
All right. Everybody, I hope that really shed some light on some things going on out there. There's so many different people, different places doing so many good things. And I just wanted to let you all meet Yuri. You may have seen the story on GMA, but he's an amazing guy doing amazing things. And yeah, he is a true superhero for what he's doing. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Hope you got to hear something good, and go out there and make somebody's day. I thank y'all for being here. Dad, thanks for watching. I love you.